Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to 5 things we learned from Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0. First things first, people, make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new down here. And as always, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And let's dive right into it, people, then with point number 1. One that we already knew anyway, but yesterday against Bournemouth further compounded it, and that is that Chelsea are creating a lot of chances but not scoring enough goals. You know, throughout much of the game yesterday, people, we were dominant side, I think, and we could have easily taken the lead on multiple occasions. Jackson hitting the post, obviously Gallagher missing chances, Raheem Sterling's free kick millimeters away, but the wastefulness again costing us, and it's been the same old story for us all season so far, creating opportunities and not tucking them away. As I said, Sterling, Jackson, and a host of other chances. And if we want to be successful, people, then we must convert these opportunities. Otherwise, we're going to be in for a miserable campaign. And I don't know what the issues are in terms of us not being able to put the ball in the back of the net. It doesn't seem to matter which combination of players, which formation, what players are on the end of the chances. There just seems to be a complete lack of confidence in front of goal. You can't tell me that every single player that plays in the attacking positions for Chelsea is incapable of putting the ball in the back of the net. You know, these guys have scored goals before in their careers. I don't know what it is about the Chelsea shirt that as soon as you put it on, all your finishing ability seems to leave your boots. But that's got to change. How is that going to change? I don't know. I don't know the answer. But it's the age-old question again. We spent all this money in the summer, but no proven number 9 came in with a track record for scoring goals. We bought a lot of potential, and we're asking potential and young players to go and all learn from each other. And it doesn't work like that. It simply does not work like that. So, yeah, look, the first big point is creating a lot of opportunities, which is a plus because in the past we've not created the chances. But the same thing again, not scoring enough goals. And like we've been on the wrong end of fine margins. And you know, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the scoreline. But we've been on the wrong end of fine margins. Enzo missing the penalty against West Ham. This Raheem Sterling free kick in the Bournemouth game. Nicholas Jackson putting one over the bar when it was easier to score against Forest. You know, all these things, if they go the way in our favour, then we're not sitting 14th in the table and things aren't looking as bad as they are right now. That is the number one for me. First thing. Creating chances, not scoring enough. Same old, same old. And I don't know how we're going to change that. And I don't know when that's going to change. But let's move on to a slightly more positive thing for point number 2. And that is the full debut of Leslie Ugochukwu in the midfield. Obviously, we signed him in the summer from Rennes. I don't really think anyone was expecting us to do that. It kind of caught people off guard. There were no rumours to it at all. But he came in. We fully expected him to go out on loan, most likely, but he didn't. He stayed as part of the squad. He impressed against Wimbledon in the Carabao Cup. Then he got his first start for us against Bournemouth, and he handled his full debut really, really well. Obviously, Gallagher alongside him was the more senior player and the leading figure in that midfield, but there was very, very little to complain about from Ugochukwu's display. He looked calm on the ball, kept it simple, didn't give the ball away, looks really composed. He's stature for a 19-year-old. He's a big lad. He's physical, and he looks like he's got all the attributes to become a very good midfield player for Chelsea and in the Premier League. So his performance was a real positive, real positive, particularly with the fact that Romeo Lavia is going to be out for a while as well. Ugochukwu is going to be stepping up and has stepped up so far in the opportunities that he has been given, and that's all you can ask for from young players, is that when you get a chance, deliver to the best of your ability, and you'll continue to get chances. So Ugochukwu, for me, has done his chances of getting further starts no harm at all. Really impressed by his debut for that one. And I know it's early days, but it does look like we've got a very decent player on our hands potentially. Moving on to point number 3, and that is Conor Gallagher captaining the club. Now, Conor Gallagher divides opinion amongst a lot of Chelsea fans. And look, I'll even say myself, if you'd asked me at the start of the transfer window, would you mind if Chelsea sold Conor Gallagher? I would have told you no, like a lot of people. But he had a very good pre-season campaign, and he started the season well. Yes, the last few games have not been as good as the first few, but he started the season well. He was given the armband for the game against Bournemouth. And, at times he probably could have had a goal or two. Should have at least had one. He was afforded a lot of space by Bournemouth, and he certainly made the most of it. There were gaps in front of goal, and he did a good job of dictating the play, particularly in that first half. Obviously, second half, the performance dropped off, like the whole team, really. And you know what? Despite the fact that he could have been sold in the summer, he's turning into a really important player for Chelsea. And he played the most minutes in pre-season, and he has started every game for Chelsea this season. So it's clear that Pochettino likes him. It's clear that he trusts him, and it's clear that Gallagher, in the manager's eyes, is doing enough to impress him and stay in the team. So yeah, that's a big vote of confidence for Conor Gallagher to be named the captain yesterday, like he was against Wimbledon as well. And it appears that he's becoming an important player for Chelsea. Do I think he should be starting every week? No. But at the moment, injuries, etc., is probably why he's starting. As you could say, maybe Cole Palmer should have started instead, go with just two in the midfield, Enzo and Ugochukwu. But ultimately, Gallagher probably deserves to be starting on the balance of the pre-season and the first few games this time out. But it is kind of mad how things turned around. Everyone was adamant that they wanted Conor Gallagher to be sold. And then suddenly, he's turning out looking like becoming a really important player for Chelsea. Obviously, there's been no talks yet over a contract extension or anything like that. Could still be sold next summer potentially. But so far this season, he really is emerging as a very, very important squad player and player for Chelsea, which I don't think a lot of people would have expected. But fair play to him for that. He's taken his opportunities. He's got his head down. He's worked hard. And the manager clearly sees something in him. So, yeah, I think that's another point taken from that game. In terms of point number 4, I want to discuss Mykhailo Mudryk, and that performance against Bournemouth has left fans wanting more. I don't think he was anywhere near as bad as people were making out. Certainly people around me in the stands were saying he was awful. I was like, I don't know if I'm more lenient with him or these people just have unrealistic expectations or can't see. I don't know. But look, it's fair to say that his Chelsea career so far has not lived up to what he was expected to be yet. He started the contest looking sharp down that left-hand side, looking very sharp. And all the good chances in that first half came through him. Jackson hitting the post came through him. He could have had an assist very early on. He creates the chance for Conor Gallagher. Like, Mudryk was making things happen in that first half. All the big opportunities that we had in the first half came through Mudryk. But his influence, it has to be said, as the game went on, it dwindled. But it was by no means a bad display at all. So I'm not sure. This dialect around Mudryk is there's lazy narratives going on. Lazy in terms of saying he was crap. He wasn't. Lazy in terms of the transfer fee. Never have I seen a transfer fee misquoted and misreported as many times as Mudryk. Everyone's like, £100 million this, £100 million that. No, he's not. We paid £62 million for him. And then if we win the Premier League, Champions League, amongst various other add-ons, then it could rise to 100 million. And if we do that, then it's been a successful transfer. So the misreporting of the transfer fee is ridiculous. I've never known people like media, etc., get this so wrong. But look, I thought he was good. I did think he was decent. Yes, as I said, his influence dwindled as the game went on. But he needs a run of starts, and for me, he did enough to warrant a start in the next game. And he's not going to get any better if he's constantly the first player hooked off. If he's after one game in the team, he's in on the bench and he's back to getting 10 minutes or something. But you just want to see him do more. He's leaving you wanting more. And I think he's got that. But 22 years of age, people go, oh yeah, but Saka's 22, Martinelli's 22. Yeah, but in terms of footballing experience, they're so much more experienced than Mudryk is. So, Mudryk has not even played 60, 70 professional games so far in his career. So, look, all the attributes are there, the potential's there, the skill set's there. It's just about knuckling down now, getting that run of opportunities, getting the trust of the manager, being allowed to make mistakes and then recover from them in games. But he was by no means bad yesterday. And everything good we did in that first half, the chances we created, all came through him. So, yeah, Mudryk leaving the fans wanting more, but he was by no means as bad as people like to make out. And that now brings me on to my final point, which is probably the most depressing one, is that 5 points from a possible 15. Not the start that we would have predicted as fans. It looked like a kind run of fixtures at the beginning of the season, but we've accumulated just 5 points, and the only win we've had is against Luton Town, who, with the greatest of respects, most team in the division are gonna beat. Look, you could argue that the performances have been more deserving of the points on the board, but that's not how football works, and we only have ourselves to blame when it comes to us being 14th in the table. As I was going on about in my earlier point, the amount of chances we've created, like 5 points should easily be 10, maybe even 12. Fine margins, people, but football's fine margins, and we've been on the wrong end of those fine margins. But ultimately, the players we've had out on the pitch, the personnel we've got, yes, we're young and we're learning, and it's not a cohesive team yet. We've still had enough talent to beat teams that we've played against, and we've created more than enough opportunities to do it. So 5 points from 15 is a concern. Champions League qualification already, you start to worry about that, given the competitiveness of the league, given how many points already we're slipping off those Champions League places. So, yeah, look, whilst, the performances look better than the points we've got, the points tell the story. And if we want to get back into Europe, which we need to, we cannot afford many more afternoons or many more games like we've had in the first 5. Otherwise, we can forget about being in the Champions League again next season. But yeah, people, those are just my 5 takeaways from yesterday's game. As I said, make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you again in another video soon, people. Take care, up the Chelsea, and peace out, guys.